cultural practices have been life-giving in your mental health experience?
Of late, my efforts to foster my own wellness and resiliency have focused on delving into my personal family history. I've made some concerted efforts to have conversations with beloved elders, aunts, uncles, to hear personal stories, to understand life decisions of my parents. I've been asking new questions, learning that my people loved the land. They loved plants, and I too may be developing that same love. I've been participating in community discussions with Caribbean and African people living their lives abroad. I've also been revisiting old Caribbean dishes, embracing the notion that food is medicine. I've been meditating, exercising regularly and consistently. These have all been life-giving and life-affirming. Strangely enough, I've been engaging in deliberate practices, ones that I deliberately ask of my clients, so I'm actually doing what I prescribe. In my professional work, I'm seeing some trends. I'm seeing that there's a new openness to therapy for the BIPOC community. There's recognition of the need for this space, a therapeutic space, that is. We're continuing to put to rest the stigma associated with seeking mental health or even conversing about mental health. I've been focused on helping my clients to move from survival behaviors, to move away from just trauma-based thinking, to practicing and encouraging more rest and actions that nourish and rejuvenate their overtaxed nervous systems. I've been helping them to do some cultural unlearning, helping them to see that vulnerability and help seeking does not negate their strength. I've also been helping them to realize that they are worthy not only because of what they do, but simply by being.
These processes also led me to engage with other African-American men who too were looking for resources for their mental health and wellness. And so I've engaged in trainings and seminars on mental health and wellness through NAMI. I've also, Mental Health America, have engaged with those folks as organizations that help people who understand mental health and wellness and its impacts on our communities, healing circles, conversation groups, conference calls, one-on-ones with brothers to discuss our health journey. And I'm also learning what is good for my soul. Learning myself and how to be intimate with myself, to learn the practices that help keep me alive. And so some of those practices are nature walks. Some I engage in African dance. I like to watch birds, bird watching, meditation, drawing and painting, poetry and writing, gardening, and playing games with my children. So these are ways in which I affirm my humanity, affirm my mental health and wellness, along with going to church and engaging in prayer, and also engaging in gospel music that uplifts and affirms my spirit. Being in the Black church is the tradition of family and kinship in the Black church helps me to affirm who I am and my mental health and wellness. There's nothing like a good gospel song in the Black church to affirm your life and who you are in God, in Christ, and how that relationship brings you back into alignment or into right alignment as they engage in the song or engage in the hymn. This design also is open-ended. Because I am evolving, I learn more about myself. So I believe that many of us never have, or we have not developed our authentic self or engaged our authentic self, because when we are alone, we have no clue who we are, and therefore we have to engage in this process of learning who our authentic self is. My final thought is destiny. Final move is destiny. As a Black man and as an ordained minister, I have made myself available to collaborate with the Spirit, collaborate with the ancestors, collaborate with myself to vision what mental health and wellness is moving forward. And I have made it part of my purpose to engage in wellness activities that would affirm brothers along this journey. I again have engaged in practices that would or walk alongside brothers as they have talked to me about how they want to be well in themselves. And so what I believe is God is calling me to continue to provide a safe space for brothers to have conversation, to engage in dialogue and exchange information on how to successfully navigate the challenges of our present age. And so I believe that, again, we get to design, we get to dream forward what this looks like. And I believe it's part of my destiny to leave a legacy of wellness, not only for myself as a Black man, but also other men and other women that I come in contact with as a practitioner of faith in Christ in this, again, present age.
Personally, I've developed ways to ensure that I'm on the right path, not a perfect path, but the right path when my mental health is concerned. When I really started to dig in and grapple with my own mental health and the desire and the passion to do and be better for myself, really started settling in. I made a list of what I thought my mental health should include. What does it look like for me to be in a good space mentally? And that list included peace, truth, both to myself and from others, and loving myself first before I even think about caretaking of any and everyone else. So first and foremost, I believe in having a good clinician. Therapy has been a sacred space for me to verbally process, because I'm a verbal processor. So it gives me a safe, trained space with a trained professional for me to get it all out, all of those many, many, many things that may be going on in my head, whether it's from my inner critic or my firefighters or my managers competing with one another on the inside. I get to throw all of that up and sort through it with a professional and come to healthy conclusions rather than having to do all of that work by myself on the inside. There's much more space out in the world with safe community than there is in your own head. So I believe in having a good clinician. And then, especially with the ongoing COVID pandemic, repeated social injustices that leave Black bodies in the streets, especially by caused by people and organizations who are supposed to protect and serve us, but seem more interested in harming us. Indiscriminate violence, like the multiple mass shootings that we've experienced, and all the other things that clog the news airways in the mornings and the evenings. I've developed a repository of tools and resources for my own use to make sure I am taking care of me. And those things include sometimes something as simple as a nap. A nap can help your mind and your soul. Rest is not only integral for physical health, but mental and spiritual well-being as well. I will disconnect from technology. It's hard sometimes, but I do it so that I can just drown myself in music, because music, it speaks to my soul, it speaks to my mind. I can just lose myself in it and recover from whatever has been mentally taxing. I love to color, write, and journal, because if I'm upset about something, if something is bothering me, if I can externalize it and articulate it on paper or either word of mouth, I find myself being able to think clearly, think better, and process whatever the issue is. I also rely on my tribe. We love each other. We comfort each other. We cheer each other on. And yes, we even tell each other when we are wrong. This is my community. These are the people that love me just as I am. I don't have to negotiate myself or my personhood around them. They know exactly who I am. They know exactly where I'm from, and they love me with no expectations other than I will be honest with them and be who I am with them. So I rely heavily on my community. I love to do whatever brings me joy. I'm learning to just be intentional about doing things that bring me joy. That could be going to the gym or reading a book or going to play golf and just letting the sun hit my face, standing in my backyard and looking at my rose bushes, or playing in my raised garden because I think that I'm some kind of farmer. It is whatever brings me joy, ultimately fuels my peace and makes me a better person. Whatever brings me joy in that moment is what I focus on, especially in times of stress. I think it's worth saying that as a Black woman, the journey isn't easy. We are socialized, we are raised, we are shaped and formed to put on a mask. We are encouraged to be super women. We are encouraged and applauded when we take care of everyone but ourselves. I think that it is time for us to take off that cape. I think it's time for us to put the superhero shield down and really start paying attention to what it means to take care of ourselves. I think ultimately, as a Black woman, I desire to live in a space of peace and wholeness. I don't want to be fractured. I don't want to be split. I want to be a centered self where I can make decisions out of a place of calm and rationale rather than fear, anxiety, fear of failure, fear of not being enough, not doing enough. And I think God provides resources for us for that. God has given us tools in many forms: clinicians, spiritual practices, community, worship of all kinds, apophatic prayer, cataphatic prayer. We have the tools around us that will help put us on a path that speaks life into us, even as the world tries to take that peace and that life away. So for anyone watching this, I pray that as you navigate your own mental health journey, that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, good mental health, as it goes well with your soul.